Good morning. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Sujata.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I think we should wait for some more participants to join in, or should we actually begin the
We can
satsang?
wait.
Yeah,
We can wait. We can wait.
sure. Thanks. What do you do, Sujata? Housewife?
Yeah, housewife.
And what do you do, Sarah?
I,
This is Sarah Satyam. Can you hear my voice? Can you hear me, Sarah Satyam?
I think her
Lost.
volume is off. She
Yeah.
can hear you. Maybe you are not able to hear it.
Yes. And, yeah. So today is a kind of Q&A, a kind of question and answers, wherein we're looking forward to have your questions first to be put up. So what are your questions regarding Vedant? I think there are a lot of people who are joining a little bit late. What is your questions over a period of time where you have attended meditations, or your questions on religion, your questions on spirituality, your questions on Vedant and anything? So you can quickly ask me those questions and I'll be happy to answer those questions.
Not much.
Okay. Rajan?
Though it's a 15-minute session, it's really nice. All throughout the day, you feel nice.
Yes.
Morning, Rajan.
Good morning.
So today we are into a kind of a dialogue, a kind of a Q&A, a kind of a satsang, where we are trying to answer queries because there are a lot of people earlier and we have received close to around 20-25 requests of people soliciting a dialogue and a satsang and whatever that we called. So we thought that let's do it on a Sunday.
Right.
So
As
Rajan,
such, I don't have any question right now.
okay, that's nice. You have a background of some kind of religious practice, some kind of spirituality.
Yes. I am doing yoga through Patanjali.
Okay, that's nice. So what stage are we talking about? Um, is it the regular package which comes, which you're doing?
No. Actually, it's like I have learned first, then I do myself.
Okay. Okay, that's nice.
Now, like I have completed my routine, so I logged into and said what is there in the half an hour we are today doing. So that is why I started.
That's nice. So, Sujata, Sarah, you have a background for religion, Hinduism, or any system of faith, or
Maybe
sorry?
20 years back. 20 years back, I went for Art of Living. I did the basic course.
Okay.
Then 10 to 12 years back, I did Isha Yoga, that basic course.
Okay.
Now I'm into Vedant.
Yeah, with
still still searching for answers.
What are the questions? I mean, any questions which you can ask in a public fora? I mean, because normally what people have is questions which are in the private domain in terms of personal life, those are different. But questions which are in the public space, why do I get distressed? मैं दुखी क्यों होता हूँ? We'll use Hindi and English because there are a lot of people who have also suggested that we use English as well and Hindi as well. Because then people subconsciously relate to a language which is Indian. So, what are the questions which are still left? I mean, trust me, this is one of the best question to start. That what are those questions in life which anybody and everybody has? Because even I had those set of questions long time back, and even I traveled my path in terms of searching the answers. So, what are those questions? If you can ask public. Because then in that
At
case,
present,
yeah, I mean, if these are private questions that
no,
then
not private and all that stuff.
okay.
Like even God is the creator. Why should He create like this and like that and all that stuff? Really comes and goes.
Okay. Okay, that's a good question. So can I frame the question?
Framing.
I'll tell you. So the question is,
Okay.
if God is all good and all almighty and all powerful and all of that, then why does bad things happen in life? Why does Corona happen?
Yeah.
Is that a question which is a one-man question or it's a universal question?
Universal.
I
It's
think
universal.
those questions have come to Sara. Yes, Mala. Good morning, Rajan.
Yeah. Same
morning.
question, sir. Right.
Have anybody thought through these answers? किसी ने इस question के नीचे जाने के देखा पीछे कभी कि what is the history behind the question? There's always a history behind a question, right? What is the history behind the question?
History, like why should people suffer? Some people have a great life. A lot of people are not having a great life.
Okay.
They make life of others also miserable.
Yes.
Even they have a great life, they don't want others to have a great life. All those stuffs.
Yes. Correct. Very true.
Why can't they help them to have a great life?
Actually, a series of questions which are coming, which are of different genre, because an individual suffering is because of his karma, right? He is not able to make others happy. That's a totally different ball game, right? He is suffering because of someone else's issue. That's totally different dimension. Let's answer the questions from where it actually began. Why is there suffering in the world? Right? So the answer is a little bit of philosophical, little bit of psychological, and little bit of practical. But these are the three planes: the philosophical plane, the psychological plane, and the pragmatic, the behavioral, and the physiological plane. Right? So these are the planes in which we normally understand things. Philosophy is at the level of intellect. Psychology is at the level of mind. Okay? And physiology is at the level of the body. The people who suffer because of the body issues, the people who suffer because of the mind issues, the people who suffer because of the intelligence issues. Right? I'm just putting a structure to the problem definition and trying to bifurcate it separately so that we are able to look at it as separate entities but conjoined together. Right? People. So the first and the principal question is: if God is great, then why is suffering in the world? Right?
Yeah. Okay.
God is great not because of happiness itself, right? It is because of distress, sad, you know, basically not being happy. Now, people look at divinity as a human figure, and when it says that human figure, so if I am hungry and you are full with your tummy, why are you making me hungry? But the existence of Lord, as per Vedant, is not a person. Right? Obviously, it also includes persons, and that is the reason that you have that spark in you, which I have in me, and which Mala, Rajan, and all the other participants who have it. That this sense. Right?
Okay.
The answer is Ishwar sarvavyapak hai. Lord is omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent. You have to understand this thing that let me give you one example. I think this example will throw a lot of light in terms of this. There is this ancient Indian text called Gita. Okay. In Gita, there is this principal antagonist and there is a principal protagonist. Okay. So there is a guide mentor, Lord Krishna, who is guiding his his protege. That his protege has the same set of questions which you had and a lot of we all have. That what is life? I am being asked to kill my own set of people, right? So in this particular phase, he says that you have to do your karma, you have to do your duty. A lot of people, I mean, I think if you go out in the world, you'll find 99% of people not really getting the real meaning of karma. Right? This is where so-called presumably suffering happens. Presumably suffering happens. These are not sufferings. Karma is doing your own duty to its fullest. Duty meaning the character which you are playing. The character which you are playing. So if you're playing the character of father for the next 10 minutes, you have to be 100% father. You cannot be the husband. Because the roles, responsibilities, dialogues, behavior of a husband is very different than the father. Similarly, if you're playing the role of a mother, right, for 30 minutes, then you cannot play the role of a wife or you cannot play the role of a sister and so on and so forth. Look, you have to understand, there's a very good example which is being given in Vedant. संबंधों की मर्यादा होती है, आपको मर्यादा के अंदर रह के उस पात्रता का निर्वाह करना पड़ता है. Right? In 100 of your human life, not for 10 seconds you can say your husband is your brother. In 100 years of your human life, you cannot, for 10 seconds, for 2 seconds, you cannot say that a wife is a sister. That is called the boundary phenomena, the boundary context. Right? When you cross the boundary or when you underperform this side, you underperform here or you cross the boundary, then you pay the price. It's a mathematical rule. Right? You walk with your legs, it's perfectly fine. But you start walking with your hands, you'll have issues. Okay?
Yes.
Even yoga has its own limitation. It's called the laws of the universe. आप वो आपका वर्णाश्रम धर्म है. There the Lord Krishna says to Arjun that ये आपका वर्णाश्रम धर्म है. आपका वर्णाश्रम धर्म है क्या? आप वॉरियर हो. इस कैरेक्टर, अभी ये जो कैरेक्टर है यहाँ खड़ा है वो क्या है? वॉरियर है ना. ये आपकी ड्यूटी है कि आपको तीर मारना है. डू नॉट कीप इमोशंस हियर, डू नॉट कीप रिलेशनशिप्स हियर, बिकॉज अगर आपने रिलेशनशिप बीच में रख दी, आप युद्ध नहीं लड़ोगे. युद्ध नहीं लड़ोगे, लोग बाहर सोसाइटी में बदनामी करेंगे. ठीक है. और मतलब भगोड़ा कह के आपको भगाएंगे. And if you fight, then there are two situations. If you fight, you will either lose or either you will win. If you win, then you will consume the material benefits of a kingdom and whatever the material benefits. But even if you lose, right, you will again win because you'll be going to heaven, or presumably better place than earth. Right? You'll be going and consuming heaven. Now, he said, how is that possible? He said, because you have fulfilled 100% of the duties and the morals of the character. If you do that, right, then there is no social obligation which remains to be answered. Either you'll do it great or either you'll fail into that. In both the scenarios, you'll win because गिरते हैं शिर सवार ही मैदान जंग में. उत्तफले क्या गिरे जो घुटनों को बल चले. Right? You fought, you lost. And that is how even our constitution is also being designed, and that is how the Indian laws are also being framed. So if you go to the border and if you if you shoot your enemy, if you win, you are being given the Padma Shri and the Padma Bhushan, right, and the Vishisht Seva medal. But if you lose, right, you have been given the state honor, right. 21 तोपों की सलामी दी जाती है. It's the same thing. You fulfill 100% of your characters. दुख तब होगा, suffering तब होगी जब आपने 100% अपना कैरेक्टर प्ले नहीं किया, उसमें अपने इमोशंस को मिक्स कर दिया. Right? Moment you start mixing emotions. Now, look at it from a Fibonacci series perspective. I'm sorry for looking at from an analytical perspective, but Vedanta is absolutely analytical. It's not relatively analytical. It's pure mathematics. It's 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. That's how Vedanta works. You look at it that in this karma, in this janma, in this incarnation, you did A, B, C, D, which was wrong. You'll pay the price PQRS. Okay. But then you have a lineage, you have a back end to that particular stuff. When you're doing a back end, you are accumulating Sanchit karma and Sanchit prarabdha. Okay. What you change right now, you can change the outcome for future. The input that you can change right now, you change the outcome for the future. But the input you had given in the past, you cannot go back and change that. You have to consume the outcome. That is what the fundamental of suffering is. Right? Now, Vedant has one superlative to this. You can overcome this by detachment. Right? There was a Mahabharata rerun. I don't know if anybody and everybody has watched through it. Anybody watched the rerun of Mahabharata? Bala, Rajan, Sara, Dinesh, Jaideep.
Here and there.
Yes, we
No.
watched. The previous time I watched, not this time. Quite some time back. Yeah.
I think there is one amazing observation which I made. I'm not sure whether you guys got a time to make the observation. The guy who was being given the instruction to fight, he had fever, right? In the first Adhyaय of Gita, he says कि हे योगेश्वर मुझे पसीना आ रहा है, मेरे हाथ से गांडी छूट रहा है और मुझे ज्वर हो रहा है. ज्वर is बुखार. Right? And he got down from his Varat. Right? The same guy, when Krishna gave him 18 chapters of lecture and 709 slokas of wisdom, he was fighting like as if he's a true fighter. He was fighting with emotions. He was fighting with emotions. This is what Vedanta says, and this is what religion and spirituality says. Do not put your emotions into the character. Your genuine emotions are different, and the character's emotions are different. Play the character's emotions. I'll tell you what it means. This is what my personal observation is. I may be completely wrong. Please correct my perception. There are certain artists in Bollywood. I stay in Bombay, the city of dreams, the city of Bollywood. Right? There are certain artists in Bollywood, when they play the character which they are playing, you cannot recognize that the original artist was someone else. Example, Amitabh Bachchan in Khuda Gawah. Right? Amitabh Bachchan in Hum. There's some of the like Hrithik Roshan in those Krish films, right? And huh? Super Super 30. My wife has an amazing input. Super 30. Look at Hrithik Roshan. You will not be able to realize it's the same Hrithik Roshan which was in Krish. Because he is not carrying any of the emotions, any of the attributes, any of those dogmas of that character in this character. While in real life, Hrithik Roshan is a totally silent personality. Does anybody know this particular fact? Kasid, that he's a very silent, very introvert personality, right? Very shy and hates to work out. Does anybody know this? He really hates to work out. Having a body of like Greek god and you really hate to work out is hard to believe. But look at the character that it is to play in the screen. So the end, bottom line, underline, bold, italic statement is this: do your duties with 100% detachment. If you do that, these outcomes of those duties will not affect you. Affect you means it will come to you. You'll have to consume it, but they will not bother you. They will not bother you. This is very critical. It will not impact you. It will not touch you. वो आपके मस्तिष्क पे प्रभाव नहीं डालेगा, है ना? And this same definition, this same mathematics of input output works for even the Lord. भगवान कृष्ण के पैर में तीर लगा, उनका भी शरीर छूटा, उनकी भी बहन का लड़का मर गया, है ना? भगवान राम, उनकी वाइफ चोरी हो गई. And I mean, with full respect to the deities, they have their own problems in their own life, right? I mean, Lord Ram was the reason for his father's death. Can you imagine the guilt of a man? Right? But he has to consume because he has a past lineage to it. And being too attached to what he is doing, he will have to consume it in human form. But when you become conscious, आप चेतन हो जाते हैं. तो चेतन हो जाओगे, इंद्रियां, मन, बुद्धि, और बुद्धि के पीछे चित्त और अहंकार, conscious and ego. Then comes pure consciousness. At the level of pure consciousness, शरीर में होने वाले जो भी क्रियाएं और प्रक्रियाएं हैं वो आपके ऊपर असर नहीं करेंगी. मन में होने वाली चीजें भी आपके ऊपर असर नहीं करेंगी. थोड़ा करेंगी लेकिन उससे ज्यादा नहीं करेंगी. आप स्थित प्रज्ञ रहोगे. That's what Lord Krishna also says. It's called स्थित प्रज्ञ, balanced. Right? I hope that answers some of your questions. I'm not sure whether I was successful in answering those questions, but this is how Vedant comes to action. Any
Thank you.
questions? Yeah, Sujata, did I answer some, or should I add more, subtract?
No. A lot of answers.
Actually, in psychology, there is one model in which 5 stages are there. First is whenever any problem comes, you first deny it. Like Trump is denying Corona has stuck America. He believes everything will be okay soon. Then second stage comes anger. Why me? Why this problem is occurring to me? And then there are 2 more stages. Like then you normalize yourself, and finally you accept. That 5th stage is acceptance. So this model says how fast you, without sticking into one stage, quickly reach the last stage of acceptance. Then your everything remains sthir pragya.
Yeah, more or less, yes. And so what is the question basically which you're trying to ask?
No, I am telling you had given the philosophical angle. The psychological angle is this.
Sure.
This is a psychological model which has 5 stages.
Yeah. I think Einstein made this particular model in a 3-phase format.
Yeah.
So that's perfectly fine. Actually, Vedant looks at it from a totally different lens. Vedant looks at it as knowing the real self. Once you know the real self, who you really are, right? Automatically everything gets de-shredded. A shredder. It's a shredder. Knowing yourself engineering or inner engineering, as Isha Foundation says it, right, is a shredding mechanism.
Okay.
And you start shredding your senses, you start shredding your intellect. Because if you're really conscious, right, then the degree of awareness is very high. I don't know if a lot of you people have responded back to me on the messages saying that the degree of awareness while in the state of meditation was very high, and they also shared some feedback in terms of how they really felt about that. Awareness is directly connected to consciousness. Higher the grade of awareness, higher the grade of conscious, right? Greater the speed of detachment, right? And it just takes 1 second like this, and you just look like this, and you are detached from the entire mind-body mechanism. So I think theoretically, yes, that's how it happens. But practically, to achieve that is relatively difficult. To stay in that particular phase is more challenging. And in a material world, to stay in that stage of Sthit Pragya is what the whole game is all about. Any further questions which I can answer? Mala?
No, I don't have any questions.
No, I mean, still you can ask public questions. Yes?
Nothing further.
Rajan, any questions?
No.
And anything which is bothering the mind, bothering the body, bothering the intelligence. Corona thing? No, not exactly. Sarah? Are you there, Sarah?
No, sir.
Yes, any questions that you have right now? Why don't you put on your videos? We can look at them because we are not meditating today. Otherwise, in meditation, video is not required. Actually. So you might as well put on your video. Yeah. Yes, sir. So, are there any questions which I can answer? Yes. So let me give you 2-3, quick tips to maneuver the day or maneuver the, what do you call it as, the emotions which come on a daily basis, the emotions which come on a, you know, मन का हो तो अच्छा, मन का ना हो तो और भी अच्छा. Why is this being told? मन का होगा तो अच्छा. The reason is, if anything is happening as per our will, it's good. Why? Because then we are happy. But if anything is not happening as per our own will, and there is a divine will, right? किसी और के मन से हो रहा है, वो ज़्यादा अच्छा है. Why? Because then you are not the controller. There's someone else who is a controller. And when someone senior is a controller, the responsibility lies on him. And given the fact that the responsibility will lie on him, right? Obviously, you will get a much much relief rather than you doing it yourself. हम अपने अंदर का बोझ किसी और को दे देते हैं ना, हैं? जैसे विवाह के बाद हम अपना बोझ कुछ अपनी धर्म पत्नी को दे देते हैं, विवाह के बाद हम अपना कुछ बोझ अपने पति को दे देते हैं. Similarly, right? So surrendering to the divine will, right, is a very important thing people do not practice on a daily basis, right? And there's a share Swami Ram had actually shared a nice share to that effect. I forgot that, but the whole essence of the point was that हाँ, यहाँ तो यू भी वाह वाह है, वो भी वाह वाह है. Recollect? हर खुशी क्या हर स्थिति में हम I mean, I forgot that, but I normally do live that share, that I am happy in whatever state you keep me, right? Something that, I mean, it ends with यहाँ तो यूं भी वाह वाह है और वो भी वाह वाह है, something like that. But the point here is that you practice alignment with the divine energy and a divine plan. उससे जो छोटे मोटे लेवल के सुख दुख होते हैं ना, वो ऑटोमेटिकली खत्म हो जाते हैं, वो आपको असर नहीं करते, right? So I think that is one important thing that needs to be practiced. Any further questions so that we can end up the session and then probably we
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Alok.
thank you
Thank
sir.
you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Take
Thank
care.
you very much. Thank you.